So second Delver matchup. This feels more like a classic Magic, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. I mean, this is going to be like, as they call it, fair Magic, right? We're not going to see any turn one kills here.
Yeah, this is a matchup for the ages, and I mean, these decks have been going back and forth since what, like 2012?
Yeah, yeah. This is. Oh, all right.
Uh,
Looks like players are set. I'm gonna let them know they can start. All right, you guys can
yeah,
start. Good luck.
like major cards in the matchup that are going to matter are like things like Thalia is going to matter significantly. Rich is on the play, so getting onto the board early is going to be good. Um, David's Path to Exiles are actually going to be quite good, as they're just going to be upgrades from Swords to Plowshares.
Right, right. Um,
Uh,
yeah. Go
Turn
ahead.
one Delver start, exactly what Cali's looking for. He also fetched up a Volk, so that means that you already know that any mana dork is uh, potentially going to get clipped by a bolt. Of the mana dorks, do you bolt any mana dork, or do you just bolt something like Dryad Arbor, or do you not bolt any of them?
Well,
If you know your opponent's on Maverick, it's not blind.
yeah, yeah. I think my approach would be here to only bolt the important um creatures. If he played a turn one mana dork, though, I think I would be tempted to pull the trigger.
Yeah, it's
Like
like
once we
yeah,
get past turn one or two, the mana dorks, I don't care. Have as many as you want. I think that would be my
yeah.
approach.
I guess it is fair. It is fair that like you do want to be playing into your day's wasteland plan, but like Delver doesn't flip.
Yeah,
He still bolts the bird.
he bolts the bird. Okay.
Play for the ages. But it feels like you want to be. You got to save those removal spells for like what Thalia and Knight, right? Like otherwise you're gonna be pretty naked to those cards if you're at parity or behind.
Yep. What happened here? Did he green sun?
He green sun for a Dryad Arbor
Gotcha.
after the bird got bolted.
So, just because we talked about it so much last round, favored, unfavored matchups. Who's favored here in your mind?
Honestly, I think I would give it to Rich just because he's on the play.
Okay.
I mean, finding a second bolt. I mean, I really do think that the matchup is very back and forth, and it's a lot of positioning, and it feels fairly even. But I would give it to the player on the play because, you know, in this case, like he gets to tempo his mana,
Ooh,
and
Scrib Ranger dropped here.
Scriptwriter Pro Blue getting in the way.
Pretty good. Delver won't die though. It
I think
gets bolted
these
before combat. Okay. Before
these
blocks.
bolt trades are very good for David.
You think so?
The waste on the Dryad Arbor to cut the Cradle is actually paying off because David doesn't have a follow up.
Yep.
Kind of interesting too because if he plays Cradle, he's probably telegraphing that he doesn't have another land, so it makes the line to go after the Dryad Arbor instead of the Gaia's Cradle uh, a much clearer line, right?
Right.
Like I imagine
Oko.
there's
That's really bad news for David, isn't it?
the Oko.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Oko's going to be bad no matter what, right?
Rich giving
I,
out
th-
arena codes tonight.
I think the issue with the right now is that David had to just pass the turn without having another land drop, so he got time walked off that wasteland. So Swords to Plowshares going after Delver. I mean, it's interesting, right? Because like if let's say David finds a black source and he can get like a Kaya or something online, Kaya's really good at um, picking off Oko threats.
Yeah, there may have been an error there, but casting Scrib Ranger off a summoning sick Dryad Arbor, but I think players missed it. We're moving on. If that's what happened.
It's possible.
Yeah, I kind of missed what lands were tapped there. I wasn't really looking at it. I was looking at something else, but yeah.
Well, I mean, he had with the Gaia's Cradle, he had the mana to cast the Scrib Ranger. So if he tapped in correctly, he did have the mana.
Yeah.
Yeah, he tapped Cradle and Force Ranger. That makes sense. So a Knight of the Reliquary coming down for David. That's tough in that it's just it's what a 4/4 right now. So it can't get Oko stolen, but it can just get straight Oko'd. We're going to see a preordain from Rich. So preordain from Rich, he goes one top, one bottom. I mean, Banush, what are you thinking right now? I think, do you think this game is just on the back of Oko and that's going to be it, and it's going to be a runaway, or are we going to see some
Well,
David comebacks here?
David could come back. He has cards in his deck like Vraska and he has other ones.
He's got Abrupt Decays
again. He has Abrupt Decays. Yeah, he has ways to kill Oko. He has ways to get Oko off the board and come back here. He has ways to really get card advantage with stuff like Excavator, Tireless Tracker, and Questing Beast seems mean.
So Rich giving the information that he's really on the back of this Oko for to go the distance because he decided not to attack after elking the Knight.
Yeah.
And I would imagine that being on the ahead of the curve, David's at 9, so you would think that like if he doesn't block, that's just like good for you, and if he does block, that's good for you. So not attacking shows that he's really valuing the Oko.
Yeah, he's at protect Oko at all costs. This is my path to victory.
Yeah.
But I think if let me get their names right, Rich doesn't start playing some offense, David will win this game.
Well, that's why I was saying like it's interesting that he doesn't attack there.
Yeah.
So he's actually offering the trade himself, and you have to imagine Rich is taking it. Unless he's thinking that he's going to try and race now because Oko's at such a high loyalty that it doesn't really matter. Yeah, he's playing defensive on this Oko, which might prove good because David has the Black Source, so if he's got a Decay here, he can kind of blow up this line.
Yeah.
And Rich is only on 2 cards, so he probably, based on his hand, he's probably thinking that he has to ride this Oko out.
There's a Knight.
So this Knight is just going to get 3/3'd. 100%. There's no way that he can let a fair Knight stay. So he outs the Knight.
Makes sense.
For a Delver deck, he's got a ton of mana.
That's true.
And he's got a 3rd Bolt, and he's going to take it down.
Passes the turn.
Yeah, plays a Delta. So he's used 3 Bolts. So that's good news for David.
Yeah, from now on... there's Questing Beast.
Questing Beast is big game. He's got to have a counterspell, which he does not. So Questing Beast is going to be good.
I hope he does not attack Oko.
Yeah, no. Questing Beast text removes any choices the player would otherwise have. It's true, right? There's no way that you can play Questing Beast other than exactly one way.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you don't get the benefits of what the card does. So it removes any decision making.
I have had opponents attack my Planeswalkers with Questing Beast, though.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, well, it's like it's got haste, so you don't have to decide whether or not you want to attack on whether or not you have to like when you want to play it because it's always going to do it. It has vigilance, so you can always attack. You never have to sit back. It deals the damage to both the Planeswalkers and the player, so there's no reason to not go after the player. Like it removes any choice that you would otherwise have, which is why I don't like it as a card design. But in this instance, it wasn't big enough to take down the Oko anyway, so Oko's just going to outclass it.
Yep.
And Oko is still at 6 loyalty, which is a lot. So David's green sunning for 3. What do you get here on 3?
Let's see. Chat making a good point. I didn't get to see who that was. Went off screen, but he can Caracas his Questing Beast and recast it. I guess David didn't see that, but
it might also be that that's just not how he wants to spend his turn if he was planning on green suns anything.
That too.
Yeah. I mean, it's possible he didn't see that line, but it seems like a 5-mana 4/4 that just gets elked and doesn't actually kill the Oko is not a valuable turn. But that Green Sun Zenith is going to get hard cast force negationed.
Yep. There's Dread Horde. Japanese Dread Horde.
So an Arcanist comes in the way. He made another food token.
Yep. That's a food token in play. Yep.
Yep.
Swords on Dread Horde.
That's a good value swords right there. He needed that. The combination between Oko turning all of your stuff into 3/3s and then a bunch of bolts in the yard off the Arcanist means that nothing was ever going to survive.
Yeah. So I guess, well, based on his game action so far, he either doesn't care or doesn't know that he can bounce his questing beast.
Yeah, here he's tapping out, but you're right. He was aggressively tapping that. He was aggressively tapping that Caracas.
Yeah. I mean, if you knew you had that option, you probably would tap differently, but...
Yeah, I mean, he ended up tapping out this turn and walked into the days, yeah, but there's probably some value in knowing that, like, your long game, you can bounce the questing beast if you want.
All right. Elk swings here. Putting David
Another
Tao
threat.
at 6.
What do you think, is there a world where you would exchange for the questing beast to cut the... I feel like we're spending too much time on this Caracas line and it's not actually going to be a relevant thing. But he lets the Oko die.
Down. Oko's down. Wow.
I guess with him at 6, he's just looking at it like, well, if this Delver flips...
You're dead, yeah.
Well, he's got to throw the Hierarch in the way, but he definitely doesn't win this race.
Right, yeah, I'm referring to the race. That was a Vapor Snag, I believe, on top. If I can...
Yeah, that's a Vapor Snag.
Yeah.
Okay, Swords the Delver. Good time, well-timed removal spells.
And chat pointing out, yeah, he spent a lot of resources to get Oko off the board.
Yeah, Oko, the 12 for 1. So David jumps in the way of that food immediately. He doesn't even think about it. So that does weaken his Gaia's Cradle, but it doesn't open him up to a 4th bolt. He finds another Green Sun Zenith. He's opening himself up to Daze again, but, I mean, what else are you supposed to do? This one goes through. What do you get here?
This is for 3 or 4?
3.
Oh, okay. For 3.
If he has a land, I could see him getting Tireless Tracker. Otherwise, I imagine you just get another Knight because another Knight is gigantic.
Yeah, I think it's another Knight. Maybe there's an argument for Ramanap. No, not really.
Yeah. He's gonna start cutting. He's gonna start wasting them.
Oh, he did get Ramanap. I guess right. Okay.
So this game is starting to turn for David now that he's just going to get to waste every turn.
Yeah.
It's going to put a lot of pressure on these fetches for Rich. I wonder if we go back and look at that play where Rich didn't attack. That turn that he was protecting the Oko.
Yeah.
Because there is.
Yeah.
Like, it puts David to his decision, but there's a lot of argument to say that he wouldn't block, right?
Right.
Because he needs to get that Oko off the table, and if he doesn't block, then he's in range of dying. But right now he's at 6, and 3 bolts have been used, so he's a little bit out of range there.
Jebediah in chat pointing out Wasteland locks are so much fun. What's up, Jebediah? How you doing? All right. Trading with an elk is questing.
David is straight up on the plan of now just trade as many resources as possible and just ride this excavator to the win.
That seems to be his plan. Excavator's a 2/3, right?
Excavator's a 2/3, yeah.
He can rebuy Arbor. That's pretty good.
I think we're going to see another Arcanist come down here because he's fetching both, knowing that he's about to get cut off of red mana. So if he's going to have any access to red mana, it's this turn and that's it. So I think we're going to see in these last 2 cards for Rich and Arcanist come down here.
Yep.
Or it's just another Delver. Okay. So his last card is Vapor Snag.
Oh yeah, that's right. He has a Vapor Snag.
It's interesting. I'm trying to think how you. I mean, do you wasteland here? Is that just the line still?
Maybe. Gives him no chance of getting another Oko out over time.
Yeah,
Another Oko would be bad news.
another Oko would be bad. I guess it's just safe to like. I think also cutting him off red means that if Delver flips here, then you know that you're not going to die to it because it's not going to be another bolt.
That's true. Yeah, chat pointing out, Leon pointing out, Mandrills would be great also for Delver. So I think you just want to start cutting them off on lands.
Yeah, I mean you got to go after the red sources first, like
Of
without a
course,
doubt.
yeah. Does Cali have Tarmogoyfs?
Dude, David has 26 Green Sun Zeniths in his deck.
He does not have Tarmogoyfs. Okay.
David has cast a Green Sun Zenith, it feels like every turn of this game.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I think he's running 9 of them.
And Ooze is really good pickup here. He's going to be able to gain 2 life and exile a bunch of threats.
Yeah.
It's also going to this Ooze also checks any future Arcanist. This is good positioning. I think.
Yeah. He's exiling creatures from his own graveyard this time just for the life, if anybody's wondering. Goes up to 8. I think we had a little lag there. Sorry about that.
Oh wow, Evan wants to get in on pre-modern. Wow.
What's that? Oh, hey, what's up? What's up, Evan? Yeah, make sure you vote on our weekly Twitter poll, 90SMTG on Twitter. We'll be deciding the format this weekend for Monday's stream. And when we do pre-modern, you'll know.
Yeah, Evan's got to get in on pre-modern is what's got to happen.
Scavenging ooze, okay.
Yeah, so that scavenging ooze comes back in off the snag. Is that what happened in the glitch?
Yes.
Yeah, I think this game is has turned the tides and is now a runaway for David. So
It seems like it, yes.
I mean, Rich is going to be on no lands. He's got 1 card in hand. He's going to be on the back of this Delver that's just going to get checked. Yeah, this is over. That was a good game.
That was a good game. That was.
I think it comes down to that. I honestly think it is probably that choice of Rich not attacking any of his black cards yet.
It looks like a mull to 6 for Cali here, and we're started.
But we lead on a flooded strand for Rich. Yeah, that was a game that David won on the draw, so that's pretty good.
Right, you can also name Elk and make Elks a little bit weaker. That's true.
No turn 1 Delver is big. We're going to see, like, the second that you see a Delver player not have a turn 1 threat, you immediately put them on Arcanist, right?
Most likely, yeah. Or for whatever reason, they decided to keep a hand that is counter heavy, but I don't think he would be doing that in this matchup.
Yeah, I mean you've played Infinite Delver, and if there's ever a game where you're keeping a hand and you go turn 1 land pass, like you just have to be on. You have at least a threat, right? Like
yeah, but this is not a matchup where land pass holding up Spell Pierce is particularly interesting.
Right. Yeah, I mean he had the Arcanist, and I guess like if you see Arcanist on 6 plus potential removal spell, I mean David also didn't play a turn 1 play, so
yeah. I mean, I think in this matchup, I'm taking out my forces, my all that crap. All the counter magic does not seem relevant, and I'm bringing in creature removal and long game tools.
I think on the play you're still incentivized to keep in dazes, just because you know that like,
dazes,
for them like
right.
turn 1 Dork is their only good opening, right? And if you just like were to open threat plus daze your turn 1 play, like you're just so far ahead.
Yeah. Days is a little different. That's true. Yeah.
I could see likely now. Okay, we're going to see a brainstorm, which is good because that Arcanist then is now going to get some good amount of value.
Yep.
Although I imagine, I mean, if you're playing ahead like where Cali's position is right now, if his hand did have that bolt that we're specking, it probably did. That you just go after this Dryad Arbor right now.
All right.
because then you're just setting up another removal spell for Arcanist in the next turn, and that's just going to really hamper David's development.
Yeah. Brainstorm and then another brainstorm with no fetch in between. That was kind of sad.
Yeah, I mean, you still go up a card, right?
Yeah. But whenever I have to do that, I'm just not excited with how my life is going.
Yeah, the thing is though is that like if he does have a second land here and it's a fetch, then he's still getting a perfect brainstorm's worth of value.
Yeah.
Right. So instead of having his deck stacked so he knows what's coming, it's blind for him. So he's getting fresh looks now.
All right. So we're gonna see a bolt take out that arbor. So that's good for not David, Rich. Keep forgetting which side is which.
Rich is in great position right now. He did have that bolt like we speculated, and now David has to go for the control game. But,
Days on that Sylvan library is big and that's exactly why you leave in Days. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. Cali's just got all of the things lining up for him this game.
Yeah.
That David also proactively wastelanding Cali off of red. It's interesting, right? Because if he doesn't wasteland in that position, then he has the mana to pay for the days in that position because Dryad Arbor died.
Yep.
So it's interesting that the choice of wasteland. I mean, I'm sure there's more thought behind whether or not you wasteland in that spot because you're behind.
Yep. I was just gonna say what you don't want to happen here is exactly this: land, night, and it resolves.
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing about it resolving here though is he's got two Arcanists. He now has a Ponder. He's got a Bolt in the yard, and that Knight is a 4/4 right now. Or no, I'm sorry, it's a 5/5. But it opens him up to potentially, like, this isn't an insurmountable night for Rich. He's going to have 4 cards in hand, and if he has a second Bolt, or if he has a Submerge.
Yeah, Submerge is pretty good here.
And then, like, he can Submerge the Knight, which is going to functionally Time Walk David. He's going to get to Ponder, and then I guess he would leave a Bolt in the yard so he can save it as a removal spell. But it's like he goes up 2 cards, plus he Time Walks David. It would be a fantastic turn for him.
All right, so he's swinging here. He's targeting Bolt and Ponder, it appears. He targeted both. Okay, Ponder first. Makes sense.
Did he say where Bolt is headed? I assume it's going after the Knight, but did he say so?
I think it hasn't been cast yet. He's casting Ponder right now, and then when he puts the Lightning Bolt on the stack, he will choose his target. I think that's how that works. Yeah. Digging for another Bolt.
So he's got the Arcanist triggers on the stack. That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, you target after resolving Ponder. Yeah, I was right.
Yeah.
I confused myself for a moment. But
so he's got a second Bolt here. So he's gonna bolt the Knight.
Ooh, dismember the Knight. Ouch.
That's interesting that he goes after, because that Knight was a 5/5. The Dismember takes it by itself, right? Oh, so did he? Oh, he chose not to activate to cast the Bolt. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
That makes sense. So the Ponder must have found him in Dismember, and he just decided, all right, save you for another day, Lightning Bolt.
Yeah. So David now either has to go for another Knight, or a Walker would probably be very good here.
Questing Beast would also be pretty good.
I don't know. Questing Beast just gets dismembered.
How would he dismember it?
He is an Arcanist. Oh, he would need to. He doesn't have pumps. Yeah, you're right. Sorry. I always forget that Dismember's a 3-drop.
Yeah. I think he only has one Dismember in the list.
No. I got confused because Dismember's always cast for 1 mana.
Yes, Rich shared this list on his Twitter after 5-0ing 2 leagues over the weekend, I guess.
I mean, Rich is known for 5-0ing leagues, right? So.
Yeah.
I like David's playmat because I look at Karn and it makes me feel like he's trying to snatch one of the lands away from David.
Yeah, right. I love Karn. I think Karn's my favorite character in all of Magic.
Ooh, big Scavagy Goose.
Ooze, yeah, that's pretty good.
That's a really good scavenging ooze in this position because that's gonna cut the Arcanist. Ooh, he's gonna let it go though. That's fine. I guess you don't have any. You're not priced into having to move yet.
Lots of puns in chat tonight. All right, bolt on the ooze.
All right, so bolt on the ooze, which means that one bolt is he can he can just exile his own creatures to make it survive, but then it just gets double bolted down on the Arcanist side. I still think that's probably better, right?
Yeah, Rich has been really good at finding bolts so far this match too.
Yeah, I mean the deck is built to have them, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so David's gonna do the line where he just gains a couple of life, makes it a 4/4, survives that bolt, and now it's gonna price Rich into just spending both bolts on that ooze, which is probably like I think this is actually a really good trade for David. I get that he's still on the back foot, but like using a bolt from hand and two bolts out of the yard on these Arcanists is very good. And now we have a follow up Oko, so he's got to find David's just got to find some of his black cards.
Agreed. Well, Oko, two Dread Hordes.
Oh, big 5-drop. We're seeing
Oh,
Titania.
no.
No, green's up for 4. Okay, he's gonna get a questing beast and attack the Oko, but it gets
It
forced
gets
immediately.
forced. All right.
Yeah,
I think.
snap force from Rich,
Yeah, you
who's
don't
now
even have to
hellbent.
think about that one.
Yeah. Rich has now got one card in hand. He's got his mana reasonably set up. He's well ahead. He's got nothing really in his yard though for the Arcanist, except for that chain lightning.
Is that game? No.
So
I didn't even
it's
count there. It
it's
just looked like it
it,
was game.
yeah. It's not. The thing is that it makes it so that with an Oko on the table and an Elk, he can just Elk one of his own Arcanists, which means that he's got two lethal threats.
Exactly. Yes. He also has a bolt in the yard, doesn't he?
Hex Drinker is not. No, he just exiled the chain lightning and he got rid of all of his bolts
Oh,
on
right,
that
right, right.
ooze.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't think this Hex Drinker, if he starts pumping it, is going to be good enough because there's the onboard lethal.
Yeah, I don't think that's doing much here.
Yeah, he's going for pumps in a row, but like this game's over unless his last cards are specifically he's going to fetch and decay.
Hmm.
But that's like a really poor position because you have to spend your decay on not dying as opposed to a decay getting rid of the Oko. And him now pumping it is just putting the win on the table for Rich this game.
Yeah, I think this is the I think this is
Now
over.
there's argument that if his last card is a swords or a path, then we're not totally dead. Cali is going to play it slow. He's got no reason to move, I guess. Which he doesn't. He has no reason to move. He cuts off this fetch line now, so that fetch is now just a mulligan for David.
All right.
I don't
go
know.
on.
I don't know what he can draw.
Wrath of God.
David seems to know what he can draw because he's tapping mana. It's probably Green Sun Zenith. Oh, okay.
Knight. Yeah. Knight. Okay. Does Rich care? I don't think so.
I don't think he does, right? Like, he's at 1. He's got lethal threats. He could just Oko it if he wants to. Like, not even a Source to Plowshares can get him out necessarily. Yeah.
All right. 1-1 here.
The blue grindy decks that are looking to play counter magic. Like it seems like you're building your deck already to be set up for that. So I don't know if you need to waste your slots on a matchup that you're already well presented for, as opposed to matchups like, even though it was an upset tonight, the stack based combo decks that you're very much unprepared for, that you're always going to be a dog to
Right.
because you're not playing blue and you're not playing discard. So it's like any creature deck that's playing to the board is going to be weak to combo, and I think you'd want to dedicate more sideboard slots to dealing with those types of things. So at least in David's build, I don't think Allosaurus Rider is really what he's looking for, especially since he can't really take advantage of the activation of turning his guys into dinosaurs.
So I think there's a mull to 6 there for Rich.
Yeah, we got double fetch land starts for both. No turn one plays for either. So looks like we're both going the distance this game. Karn trying to snatch that Verdant Catacombs.
Yeah, it looks like it. I wonder if David's intentionally putting his lands in Karn's hand.
Yeah, I think David's hand is presenting itself as reactive. If I was Cali, I'd probably be. Yeah, he's
Waste of
also going to
mana.
not play on any threats until.
All right. Callie's going to make the first spell here. Cast the first spell.
Yeah. Do you think if it's? I imagine this is going to be a cantrip.
Probably.
No, it's a threat. So he plays Delver. I mean,
Okay.
I think. I wonder if he kept in his dazes because him wastelanding there, it's setting up that if David presented a hand of reactive spells and Cali is playing into that, he's gonna he's just gonna play through around this, around days in case because he has access to. Again, dude, we come back to the age the old debate. If both players are wastelanding each other, is one of them wrong?
Well, Rich is the one who has the creature on the board as of right now. So, I don't know. It doesn't look wrong for either player at this point. Of course, we don't know their hands, though.
I mean, David is packing a bunch of white spells, and in this, yeah, he's going to go for the Swords to Plowshares, and now we're just pretty much back to parity. Whoever has the one drops is right to use Wasteland. Yeah,
The thing about using wastelands uh, that makes them bad is you make dazes and thalias and whatnot better
yeah. I wonder if that's. I mean, it seems like it
for
was a
your opponent.
consideration for David because he Wastelanded first before throwing the Swords to Plowshares. So he's thinking about days in some capacity, but I wonder if he's also considering that because he's on um, the play that some number of days has come out. But a nice big mandrel's coming down now. So that seems mandrels doesn't seem at its best in this matchup where David is going to be packing six uh, Swords to Plowshare variants, but
Right, right.
um, I guess just being more threat dense in a deck that's looking to trade a bunch. Yeah, we still haven't seen Decay, and we're not about to in the face of this mandrel. So
Yeah, I can't decay that. Japanese mandrels there.
all right, so we got a suite of duels on David's side, but no action.
Right.
Pass it back to Cali. He's got his colors. He's got a 4/4 threat, and David's just going to take it to the face. So Cali having a good turn. Nothing provocative, but converting 4 damage off that mandrels is good.
Just gonna check in with the players on life totals because of the disparity here. Hey guys, I have Rich at 18. Is that right?
I had a Swords to Plowshares. I think I'm at 19, 2 fetches, and a Swords to Plowshares. I should be at 19.
Yeah,
Okay. And
I agree. I agree with that.
okay. Thank you guys. That was my bad.
No, that was Karn's bad. We're going to blame it on Karn.
Just want to make sure I'm presenting the right information to our lovely audience.
Okay, so we get a waste on the scrub, so he's going after the white sources, and he goes after the second black source as opposed to the second green source. A Caracas for David and a pass back. So David's hand may be clunky,
Yeah,
and
not much
it may
going on for
be
him.
it's either land dense or it's clunky because he's just not casting spells, and he just took another punch to the face off that mandrel. So. If his bottleneck is mana, or if he's just playing very, very patient.
We might finish tonight before 11 p.m. We've had some long streams lately.
Here's a
Vraska.
Vraska. Vraska's kind of it gets dazed, or it gets Oh, that's it. It got dazed double bolt. That'll
All
do
right.
it.
Callie's got it. Let's check in with the players.